Hello, and welcome to The Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any number of topics that may have come up during the week. I am your host, Uncle Silver, aka Silver Greg, aka Greg, whatever you feel like calling me. And welcome to you, my co-host, The Chat. Always a fantastic time having everybody here. Hopefully, stopping in, interacting. I expect a little lightness today. I know that it is Memorial Day weekend for everybody in the U.S. I don't know if the UK has any it's sort of like if this is a special weekend in the UK at all. In the US, this is Memorial Day weekend, which is the unofficial start of summer. It is normal, it's always like the last Monday of May, so it's always an extended weekend. Okay, I thought I was dropping frames. It's always an extended weekend, so this is the weekend that everybody takes to start doing things around the house. That's always a big thing. Like it's normally the relaxing, like people like, oh, it's fun time weekend, like, or it's, for some of us it's time to do stuff, which I like taking the extended weekends because we can get everything done and then still have the Monday to relax. So that's actually what's going on this weekend. This weekend we are going to be doing some painting. I've got some yard work to do. It should be pretty fun. I usually enjoy that stuff to an extent. I don't want to spend the entire weekend doing it, but it's always nice to do that stuff and then at the end of it all see your work, like see the stuff that you've done and like, oh, this is so cool that that I did this, that we did this together. Like I like that stuff. But hello, Fox, Latimer, Aqua, Rami, Lilac, Rye, Rocky Bear, Mendez, what's happening? I'm 2 minutes late. Maybe you're, I don't know, maybe you're late. How about that? Maybe you're 2 minutes late. We started right on time. We did not start right on time. To find, what, I had to find the place, obscure reference. Oh, AR Mega Man, what's going on? Gamer Guy, thank you so much for the invitation to the host club. Very much appreciated. Always love to always love to get the influence out there. I might actually get around to playing Ace Combat 7 this weekend. Ooh. Hey Minion, Ziego, what's happening? So glad to see everybody here. Oh, Shiro, I just got the notification. Shiro, I just started. For Fridays, this show starts at 5. I have to change the banner on the on the bottom here. I gotta change that. Gamer Guy 20,001. Thank you so much for the sub. Very much appreciated that you are in the hunt for a sub. It means more to me than you can imagine. I love having everybody here, and I always say that you can come here and you can hang out and you can click follow, and all of that stuff is totally free, so it's always very much appreciated when people click that sub button. For anybody that has their free Twitch Prime sub ready to go, feel free to use it here too. This would say somebody get the. Hold on, I missed something there. Did you sort out your save issue with 3D? No, not yet. I'm going to have to link the systems up to both monitors and then do a system transfer if I want to get that stuff working. Realistically, I could just hook up the other system and hope for the best, which might just be what I do. I may just do that because the whole system transfer is kind of a pain in the ass. Because I know that after I'm done 3D Dot Game Heroes, I won't touch that system anymore. I've got the Slim system. The Slim system works fine. It's totally okay. So I'll probably just hook up the other system. The system played. My problem was that I had a hard time. Like, it wouldn't eject the disc, which to me is a strong sign that the system is dying. So I won't play it anymore. Eventually, I don't know. I'll turn it into a planter. That mic stand is nice. If I were a mic stand, I'd be proud. Yeah, I got a new mic stand. I got my new headphones yesterday. For anybody that was watching, let me turn the mic stand a little bit more. I got new headphones yesterday, which are the Audio Technica AM20Xs. I actually got them on stream. That was fun. We did a little unboxing there. And then I got my mic stand today, which is the blue Compass arm. It is a nice mic stand. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to set up. It is extremely tense. To screw the joints down is very hard. Like, you have to do it so much that your fingers hurt a little bit. And there's a tension screw underneath that you're supposed to be able to loosen it up. I turn that thing forever, and it does not feel super loose, which is good, but my microphone is not super heavy. I think that's what it's for. I think the idea is that if you've got a very heavy microphone, the microphone will help keep it in place. But my microphone is not that heavy, so it did take some finagling and some maneuvering to get it into a decent position. But it is in a decent position now. It's very good. I like that it's taller. If you can see, it's coming down into the shot. The other one, I believe, was coming up into the shot, and it just really wasn't that attractive. So, I mean, I still have it. You know, it's fine. I had to run out and get a cable because my other mic arm had the cable built into it. So removing the mic arm meant I needed a new cable. So I went and picked up the cable and everything today. But, I mean, it's all working. It all feels like I feel like it's looking good. I don't know anybody else. I'm not a huge fan of the blue logo, but at the same time, it is a decent product. So I like to support a decent product. So I don't mind it too much being in the shot. I only wish it came in different colors. I do wish there was a silver one. I remember people converting to the fat PS3s in the grills. You could always sell the old one at GameStop. No. I like hanging on to it. I've got a couple of different mic arms like that one, so I like to hang on to that stuff just in case I want to set up a mic somewhere else. In case I want to set up, I have the old mic arm has the cable through it, so I can use that as another mic. I have the same arm without the cable that I use for a webcam. I actually have my webcam sort of solid mounted right now, but I have the arm also set up so that I can put a webcam there, and then I can maneuver that, aim it down for when I was doing the cartridges, like opening up the SNES cartridges. I can aim it down at the desk, so everybody can see it there. With E3 coming up soon, is it weird that this year is going to be shorter than last year, especially since Sony's not doing a conference this year? Gamer, we'll talk about that during viewer topics. I don't know that it's weirder. I just feel like there's going to be less to talk about from E3 itself. That being said, okay, Sony's not going to be at E3, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to make a bunch of announcements. And that's the thing. Just because they're not at E3, you know, Nintendo wasn't at E3 for a while, but they always had a Direct or a Treehouse set up. So that during that time span of E3, we still got a bunch of news. And that's all we care about. We don't care about where the news comes from. It's just always interesting during those few days to hear the news that's coming up. Lizard, what's going on? Let's see here. Could always turn. What's this? You could always turn the console into the. Yeah, there it is. Somebody else was mentioning that. Turn it into like a George Foreman grill. Rooster, what is going on? How are you doing? How are you feeling today, Rooster? A little better, I hope. Will you be streaming E3? I don't think I streamed E3 last year. I definitely don't think my computer was strong enough to do it. I'll probably have. I mean, no, I didn't. I think we did a silver lining, and we just talked about what they said from E3, because I also did that video about us not needing an E3 anymore. Heidi, hi, good chatting, Uncle. What is going on, Phoenix? Oh, you say Heidi now, and it just throws me off. I wasn't sure if you were talking about Pro Jared or not. If I'm a little inactive, I'm cleaning, dusting, vacuuming my Amiibo shelf, an entire gaming set. Ooh, while I wait for a torrent to download. I see torrent and still think rain, so I thought you were doing that because it was raining outside. I'm good, not in any real pain right now. Very nice then. I'm glad to hear that. I'm very, very glad to hear that. The announcement of the Simpsons writers at E3. What? All right, before we get into any of the topics, I did have one more Oh yeah, you didn't share. I remember watching it. Element. Okay, Element streamed it. Just a little bit of not really big news or anything. Just a sort of idea. I got the headphones. I got the mic stand. I'm fine with the mic. I'm not going to upgrade that. I just wanted to sort of ramble about what I want to plan. I think these are going to be the last upgrades for a little while for the channel setup, for everything that's set up here. Like literally as I'm sitting here looking at it, I don't see anything that I really want to upgrade, with one exception, and that is my camera. I do want to upgrade my camera. The issue is that upgrading my camera is not cheap. That is, I use a Logitech C920, which does 720p 60 frames per second or 1080p 30 frames per second, with a relatively average field of view, which is to say, you can see from here. Hold on. I'm bringing it right here. So you can see from right here to right about here. So what I want to do is I do want to upgrade my camera. I have looked at the Logitech. The Logitech C922 is pointless. There's no point in me doing that. There was the Logitech Brio, which is sort of a higher end webcam. I am still debating whether or not I want to do a mirrorless DSLR. Lilac, thank you so much for the 25 bucks. Did someone say money? I don't know how many times I have to keep saying it. I do at some point think I want to upgrade to a mirrorless DSLR, which would be extremely nice. I would love to do this, especially because of this show. If all I did was the game streaming, I would be completely fine with this. But because I do this, I do like the idea of having a 1080p 60 frames per second with a wider field of view, just to sort of make the room look a little bit bigger, because I wouldn't say that I'm cramped. I'm definitely not as cramped as some setups that I've seen, but I do like the idea of everything looking a little bit further back and a little wider. So I do want to switch over to something like that. I absolutely want to go 60 frames per second. The problem is that is price-wise a lot. So basically, the only money I really try and use to upgrade the setup is money that comes from Twitch. So all of the stuff that you guys are doing for me, which is fantastic. I can't express often enough how appreciative I am for all of that support. But that is very periodic, very sporadic money. So I'm gonna have to wait a while for that money to come in. But I do think I want to upgrade to a full-blown camera, something a lot more high end, and then I will have to figure out where to put it because I love the idea of a wider field of view, but there's only so much I want you to see over here, because over here is just the side of this shelf, which is just plain wood, and then the window. So if anything, I'm going to put you all back over here so that you'd see more depth from the room this way. After the Cam Studio is next. Diego, at this point, if I had the space to put more set up studio, I absolutely would have. Realistically, I prefer all of this stuff being in my game room. I like the game room background. I always like that. If we talked about race cars, I would stand on a race car track. If we were talking about football, I'd be standing on a football field or have a football field in the background. We talk about video games. We talk about geeky stuff. So I want that stuff to be in the background. That's why I've always stayed away from the idea of a green screen. I never liked that. I didn't like the idea of putting all of this setup in front of a blank wall or anything like that. Like, I prefer to have all of the stuff in the background because, it's got to do something. God knows I just play on my computer and NES and SNES minis all the time. Race car backwards is race car. I'm sorry, race car basewards. Since you threw the extra E in there. Laptop died again. Got to use phone. Ooh. Greg streaming a NASCAR race while on the track. Yeah, just on the track, right on the corner slope. Because if you've ever seen a race car, the corners, because they're going so fast, has this ridiculous slope on it. So I'll just stand there. Why does Sonic collect rings when his name is an anagram of coins? Yeah, you don't really and Lilac, if you want to mix it up, he could collect icons instead. Oh shit, you're right. I like that. I like that realization. Hey, shut up. Okay. I don't know how much traction. I say this all the time. We end up going 2 hours. I don't know how much traction we're going to get out of some of these topics. They are a little relatively short, except for one. Not the viewer topics. The third topic we got lined up is going to be kind of a doozy. And I apologize right now if anybody is a hardcore Game of Thrones fan and has not seen the last episode. We are going to be doing some spoiler discussion for Game of Thrones because it needs to be talked about. Very, very much needs to be talked about. Okay. First up, the Sonic movie has been delayed. We just got this just happened a few hours ago. It was Jeff Fowler, I think, is the one that he posted a picture of it. Let me see. I thought I had that saved. No, okay, no. Jeff Fowler, I believe it was, posted a picture saying that they are going to delay the Sonic movie. It was literally nothing more than that. I think it said that they want to, we want to take the time to get it right. I think is what the tweet said. But as you can see, the Sonic movie has been delayed till Valentine's Day, which is very unusual. Unless that is UK dates, in which case I don't know what the 14th month is. Not that I'm mad if you heard anything came through. Aqua, that's because the books aren't done yet. The books have not finished yet, from what I understand. Yeah, the novels haven't been finished yet. That's the problem. This deal with the Sonic movie, first of all, I'm happy for it. I'm happy that Suave rating with a party of 3. Welcome everybody from Suave stream. Hope you had a good time over there. Hope you're going to have a good time over here. I would like to know what you were playing. I always ask what people were playing during their streams. I'm glad they're not going for the crunch, considering the hot topic of crunch in the video game industry. Doing this was a good call for a video game movie. The hand holding the sign, wearing the glove, the arm was still blue. That was one of the things I saw, Lilac. I'm less interested in the fact that it's blue and more interested in the fact that they did not use a CG arm. I'm interested in the fact that they used artwork for an arm. That is, you saw the other picture, the one with the blue arm with the glove on it. Yeah. I'm very interested in the fact that that arm had blue. I didn't search enough to find that picture. I'm interested in the fact that that it had a glove on it and it wasn't just a white hand. But I'm very interested in the fact that they used a drawing, artwork, not a CG model. That's very interesting to me. I plan to finish reading the book. Okay. That's very interesting to me that they did that. It's raid day! Lady Foxheart raiding with a party of 4. Welcome everybody from Lady Foxheart's stream. I know Lady Foxheart was playing Pokemon. I don't know which Pokemon game. Good lord. I know Sally was playing Sally was playing Lady Foxheart. Sally was playing Pokemon. I just don't know which one. And Venonat, did we lose a Venonat? Are you doing a Nuzlocke? Did we lose Pokemon Yellow? Did we lose a Pokemon today? Are we RIPing Venonat, or do we just like Venonat? Oh my god, there are raids everywhere. But yes, I am actually very excited that, or I'm very happy that they are delaying the movie. I'm interested in the hand. I'm interested in the fact that it's artwork. I am. The topic of crunch was brought up, which we have discussed here before. That is obviously a very, very that's a buzz. You know, those are buzz terms. That's a buzzword going around right now. Is crunch? Hit the crap out of Koga, who had 3 Venonats. Oh, okay. Outrageous. Yeah, so crunch is a big buzzword that's going around right now. You know, the idea of employees working 100-hour work weeks. When all of this stuff started with the Sonic movie, when the disastrous trailer appeared, which I still don't think was as bad, but was still not very indicative of a good movie on the way. When all that stuff started, and then when the stuff happened about them changing it, when they said that they were going to change it, that was the immediate topic. The immediate topic was, well, how much of this are they going to put on to the employees? How much of this is going to strain on them? How much are they going to delay the movie? You know, it was all very interesting to see all of this play out, and this is sort of the culmination of it. I think I honestly, I try to believe the best, but I also tend to expect the worst. I honestly think that if people didn't raise this much of a stink about it, we wouldn't have gotten a change in the Sonic character, but B, I don't think they would have moved the date. I think that they would have turned a lot of the employees into crunch time players, and I'm glad that that's not going to happen as far as we know. I'm going to dip off for a bit. I'm still going to be here looking. I'm going to make some food. No problem. You know how it is, Sally. You got to tell us what you're going to make. They didn't use Crush 40. And Mendez, I'm just happy they're not using Crunch 40. I got to have those buttons set up a little faster. So I'm glad to see that. I am a little... At this point now, we're just sort of waiting and seeing. Are they going to remove the model? Are they going to change the model, alter it, give him gloves instead of, you know what I mean? Keep the body model the same, alter his face and his hands. I'm very interested to see what they do to this character. Sally, thank you so very, very much for the 15 bits. Very much appreciated. I love that little heart. Not surprised that it was going to get delayed. Lizard, I'm a little surprised that it was going to get delayed, only because, like I said, I hope for the best and expect the worst, and I honestly expected them to put all of this extra pressure on their animators. And so it's nice to see that they're not. It's nice to see that they are going to give them time to do this properly. As dumb as this sounds, I like the fact that it's being held back until February, which means these employees have more of a job. You know what I mean? Like they could have ended this movie and that could have been it, but they're gonna keep working. So it's a sad thing to be happy about. But hey, you know us, we look for our silver linings everywhere. If the creators of the last Ninja Turtles movie would have done this, I think the series wouldn't be so disliked. Oh, Rocky Bear, you're talking about the Michael Bay movies? I think the Michael Bay movies had some other issues. I never got to see them. I actually never got to watch them. I went to watch them one day and they were gone. I think they were on Netflix. At least one of them was. And then when I went to watch it, it was gone. 6-month crunch time was impossible. I don't know about that. It's possible if you're whipping your employees hard enough, which is not something anybody wants to see. I figured it would be delayed, but I think for how much work it would take, I'm wondering if 2 to 3 months delay is enough. Well, what I wonder is how, and this is a question. See, when people are talking about this, when they're talking about them changing all of this up. everybody's talking about this as if the movie was 100% completely done, and now they have to 100% completely change it. I would like to know how much of the CG of the movie was finished that they now have to scrap and restart, because they might not actually have to do as much. You know, for all we know, all of the CG scenes were only, and for my understanding is that principal photography was done. So all of the live action stuff was recorded. It was the CG stuff that needed to be put into place. That is my understanding. I don't know. I don't know exactly if that's true or not. That means that all that has to be done is to replace the CG, and all that has to be done is to replace the CG that was already done. Removing that and then completing the rest of the movie might not take as long. It might only be 2 to 3 months. It seems far back to me that it's 3 months, and I'm wondering if that's because not much of that movie was done yet. There are plenty of issues with the series, but to have the creators at least put effort into making them feel and look familiar. Oh yeah, it's a point in the right direction. Look at James Cameron. He delayed his film like 10 years. Yeah, aren't the Avatar movies going to be like 10 years or something? It's still not going to be a good movie, but at least it'll look like Sonic. God, I hope it looks like Sonic. I hope it looks like Sonic, or I hope he look. Okay. Here's one thing that I don't know if I discussed when we talked about the movie before. At some point in the movie, I better see the Sonic ice cream. Somebody better have it. He better make it. He better run so fast that his face blurs and he looks like the Sonic ice cream. All I know is I better see the Sonic ice cream mentioned and shown at least once in that movie. I will be upset if it doesn't happen. I'm still going to watch it for Jim Carrey. This is me grasping at straws, but what if this is a sign that it might be full animated? Fox, I think that would be too much. I think them fully animating the movie would be too much, because now you're talking about restarting the movie from the beginning. Now you're talking about scrapping all of the live action stuff and restarting everything. That's not going to be the case. It's still going to be Sonic mixed with live action. I just think they're going to completely redesign the character model. And that's the thing. If they're going to do it, I think they should do it right. Don't take the model that you have and change the face and the hands. Redo the whole model. I'm sorry. The whole model needs to be redone. I did not think it was the disaster that everybody thought it was. But given the option to change it, absolutely. Change it completely. Keep in mind that they need to render it, rig it, and implement it. Yeah. But again, Lizard, that was sort of my point. Like, how much of that do they have to scrap and then start over? So I'm just very interested in that. It's a worse situation because I fear that if the movie turns out to be bad, it won't be cringe funny bad. It'll just be bland bad. Minion, that was a big topic before. The idea that if it's bad, it'll be good bad. The way the Mario Brothers movie was. You know, the Mario Brothers movie was hardly a cinematic masterpiece, but it was so bad and so far off of the source material that it was hilarious in that way. And it's, you know, we remember it fondly 25, 30 years later, even though by design it was actually not a great movie, but we remember it fondly because it was so much of a train wreck, so much of a departure from the source material. It became cult classic status. And that was a big argument with the Sonic movie with them. Hey, Jones, with them redesigning Sonic, was that with this version of Sonic, it's kind of hokey funny. You know, so if the movie's really great, people will say the movie's great. If the movie's really bad, they'll laugh at it. They'll still enjoy it, but they'll enjoy it differently. So the idea is that if they make Sonic look really good, people will say, oh, the Sonic model looks fantastic. But it's going to take away from the sort of cheese of the movie. And if it's not good, it's just going to be a bad movie. Elliot had the Sonic ice cream very much. Was Spider-Verse good? Spider-Verse was fantastic. We got to have our gloved hedgehog Cyclops model. Sonic Boom model. AR, you're not wrong. I think the Sonic Boom model would actually work in this environment. I think it would. Never saw it. Let's hope it's not the live action Smurfs movie bad. I think I saw the first one of those. I did not think it was terrible. I thought it was good for kids. It's always weird when you talk about something like the Smurfs. Let's say they did a live action Care Bears movie or something like that. It's always odd because they make a lot of these movies for kids. They're actually, the Sonic movie. The Sonic movie is going to be aimed at children. But because you're using an IP from so long ago, you're using an IP that adults, that later aged adults will recognize. What market do you aim it at? The Smurfs was like, it was trying to be aimed at kids, but it was they wanted to throw a little something in there for the grown-ups, and sometimes that works, but sometimes what happens is it disconnects the movie. It separates the movie into too many different vibes, and it doesn't work as a movie. Make it a kids movie, make it a movie aimed at adults, make it a kids movie, but you've got a couple of jokes that people will get, that older people will get. But if you try and do too much with it all at once, you do end up damaging the movie. And I think the Smurfs was a bad example of that. I think Alvin and the Chipmunks was actually a relatively decent example of an old IP that became a live action version that kind of worked. I thought the first one worked well enough. The storyline was as blah as it needed to be. It was just the reason to have the Chipmunks on the screen. And Jason Lee, is it Jason Lee? Is that who I'm thinking of? I think he was pretty good as Dave. I liked the movie. It's just, then we got to Chipwrecked. Super Mario meets Blade Runner. Mario Brothers movie was 10/10 Forgiven. Us Mario and Luigi. That's right. Spark up Mark. What is going on, Mark? Crap, wrong stream. This isn't the Satan's Youth Club. How do you know it's not? You haven't been here long enough for us to we already had our opening prayer. I will not have you badmouth the pinnacle of movies that is Super Mario Brothers. I'm pretty sure you can find the Mario movie on YouTube. I just got the DVD for $5. I gotta pick up the DVD. I kept thinking I had the DVD for that movie, and I do not have it. Don't give Sony ideas. If I'm gonna give Sony any ideas, Lizard, it's gonna be to bring back the damn Popeye movie, because the Popeye movie was amazing looking. And I will. You fight me IRL for that. I feel like they're definitely just going to work on changing the model. Neon Mold, I think that's all they're going to do. I think all they're going to do is change the model. We had a live adaptation of Scooby-Doo, and those films aren't. The first Scooby-Doo was awesome. I saw the first Scooby-Doo live action movie in the theater, and it was terrific. And then I saw the second movie, and all I remember thinking was the first movie was terrific. With Robin, was that with Robin Williams? Yeah, it was fine. Wait, with what with Robin Williams? Yeah, I don't know what was with Robin Williams. Can it be so bad as the Mortal Kombat? Hey! The first Mortal Kombat movie was amazing. What are you talking about? Annihilation was a disaster. Oh, Popeye. I don't remember if Robin Williams did the... No, he wasn't... He had already passed away when that trailer happened. No, Jones, if you go to... Oh, my God. No, the Robin Williams... I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the live-action movie. That movie was great. No. They did a CG Popeye movie trailer. The trailer came out. The trailer was very fondly remembered. I'm pretty sure it's still up on YouTube. They scrapped that movie to make the Emoji Movie. And the Emoji Movie was, I did not get to see it, but it was not good from what I understand. Mortal Kombat Annihilation was puke. Matthew Lillard killed it as live action Shaggy. People were upset that he was not brought in to voice Shaggy for the animated movies anymore. Yeah, the live adaptation Popeye was a great movie. That's a great old movie. Older, I should say. Yeah, if you look up on YouTube, let me actually take a look. I'm kind of curious now to see if it's still up. Yeah, YouTube had, it should still have it. Popeye trailer. Popeye trailer 2016. It's still here. Who? Yeah, it's still up here. You'll still be able to see it. It's got 16 million views. Apparently, it made enough money for an emoji. It was going to. It's it's goofy jokes. It's cute CG faces. Enough people were gonna go see it to watch it. They did a good job in the old Popeye movie of getting live action. Yeah, live action to do cartoon movies. Yeah, they did a good job back then. I'll never forgive the Sony. People are complaining more of the Sonic live adaptation than the Garfield, which the Garfield adaptation I thought I remember thinking was not awful. But then there was the second one, The Tale of Two Kitties. But the first one, my biggest problem with the Garfield adaptation was that they animated Garfield but not Odie. And Odie, more than Garfield, needed to be animated. Odie is a delightful character that absolutely needed to be animated. And they chose a real dog for that, and it didn't make any sense to me. I don't understand that. It makes me question humanity. Blame the idiots who went to see it. Lizard, you say that, and that's sort of exactly the problem with. It's going to be the problem with the Sonic movie. Or at least it would have been the problem with the Sonic movie. It's a problem with a lot of these things. They go to see it ironically, but it's not like when you pay your $10 to watch the movie, it has the word ironically on the money. Money's money. And if you go to see a movie because for irony, if you go to see a movie because you're extremely interested in it, you think it's going to be great, the bottom line is they're making your money. And the only numbers they care about when it comes to do we make another one of these movies is the numbers. Look at this, the Speed Racer movie. Speed Racer did relatively well in the theaters, but I don't think it made back what it cost to make the movie. But most people that I know that have seen the movie really enjoy it. Apparently, the movie made its money back when the DVD came out because people had talked up the movie so much but didn't go to the theaters to see it. So they bought DVDs of it, and that supposedly did very well. Which, by the way, the Speed Racer movie, for anybody that has not seen it, go see it or go and watch it somehow. I think it's a spectacular movie. And I like spectacular movie because it felt like a spectacle. I saw it on the big screen. I did see it in the theaters, and it was a big, grandiose experience. When you see the races and stuff, and you see them on the big screen, it all comes to life. It's all very colorful. Everything's in focus, and it's a spectacle to see on the screen. I mean, I was stoned, but I saw it on DVD. I remember. Yeah, I have it on DVD. I would like to pick it up on Blu-ray just because I know that it is a little bit better image quality. Ironic money. Now that's an invention I want to see. It's amazing how many people don't think about that. That's why it's called. Yeah, it's called vote with your wallet. Talk with your money. You know, that's what you have to do. You're still. I guess that's why you're. Jones. Yes, but no, because I can sit down and watch that movie right now and extremely, very much enjoy it. I do remember the Speed Racer movie on TV. The Blu-ray is $8 on Amazon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to order that just to have it. I'm kidding. No, Jones. There are some movies that I enjoyed that way. That when I wasn't that way, I remember Half Baked. If anybody's seen the movie Half Baked, I saw that movie while I was under influences, and when I was not. And I saw it, I thought, wow, this is really stupid. And not the funny, laugh out loud stupid, the ooh. I apparently have the Wii game for the Speed Racer movie. I don't remember buying this. I've actually heard, I never got to play it. I heard that game is actually really good. I heard that it's a very good racing game. Now, what about the Flintstones movie? I love the Flintstones movie. I thought that they fell apart after the first one. I think that's the problem. I think that so many of these live action adaptations, these CG adaptations, they do a good job on the first one because they want people to really, really like it. and then it falls apart immediately. They look for the perfect cast for the first movie, and then they have to change people for the second movie, or they have to come up with some ridiculous storyline, and it always turns into sort of a mess relatively quickly. I don't know one of these movies that, if anybody knows one, please tell me. One of these movies where it is a live action adaptation of something, whether it's completely live action or whether it's CG, that had a second or third one that was actually really good. Normally, the first one's either really good or relatively decent, and then it just falls apart after that. And it's always a shame, because I would love to see some of these properties become their own new series. You know, yes, there have been multiple Chipmunk movies, Alvin and the Chipmunk movies, but only the first one was relatively decent. Narnia. No, Narnia I would not say counts, because Narnia is from, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the first time those Narnia books were ever made into movies. What I'm talking about is basically an old cartoon. Alvin and the Chipmunk, Speed Racer, all of that stuff. You know, they were old cartoons, they were old TV shows that had a complete style change. They went from completely cartoon to completely live action, or at least CG. See, when I say animated versus live action, I typically count CG as live action, because it is CG characters in a live action world. Overall, the world is what's live action. So they're live action movies to me. Batman. Yeah, I guess something like Batman might count. Batman's another one that started in the comic books, so the cartoon didn't get as much love. It's difficult with Batman, because Batman fundamentally changed at some point. You know, when the comic code changed, and then you started getting things like Frank Miller's Dark Knight, which was a very different kind of Batman up to that point. That's when you started to see a shift in how that particular character was seen. You know, Batman was always the hokey crime fighter, and that was because the comics code required that sort of thing. So when the comics code started to really dip away, and people could do what they wanted to, you noticed a very fundamental shift in these characters. Lord of the Rings had old cartoons. Those are some weird cartoons. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. They are weird. I like the Amazing Spider-Man series. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, again, started from a comic book. Now we hear. It's easy to make a show or movie based on a book. The script is already written. It's hard to go beyond that. Look how quickly the reviews for Game of Thrones fell apart when the screenwriters worked on their own. Yeah, the Game of Thrones, it's difficult, because when you've got a book, when you've got something that is on print, and you try and convert it to a movie or a TV show, you usually have an abundance of source material. You know, Lord of the Rings was dramatic in size. It was 3 very large, relatively large books. So when you scale it down to a movie, you're able to pick the best parts and make a great movie. When you're only making a movie or a TV show, you kind of have to work with what you make. So it either works or it doesn't. You don't have this ability to take the best parts and make a good thing. You kind of have to make what you make. I think I stepped out before the Sonic talk. X-Men animated series, again, adapted from comics. The X-Men animated series was phenomenal, and they did a great job of taking a lot of those stories and adapting them to the cartoon. They changed certain things, which is always very weird. It's always odd to see that stuff. Nah, this is a Sonic talk tangent. Yeah, this is just a tangent. We go, you know how it is. Come on. You're not new here. You know how we are. We start talking about something, and 5 minutes later, who knows where the conversation goes. Actually, the Lord of the Rings book was just one very long book, split into 3 books to sell it better. Oh yeah, Rooster? Well, did you know that The Two Towers, which is the second book in that trilogy, was actually adapted from a Japanese story called Doki Doki Panic? What about Space Jam? Space Jam never had a sequel. Space Jam never had a sequel. Space Jam was fine. Space Jam was okay, but yeah, never had a sequel. None of those movies ever got high quality sequels. It always fell apart after the first movie. In the case of Transformers, I never saw the first animated series, but I hear it's great. Never hear anyone talk about the other series though. The other series are okay. G1 Transformers, which is Generation 1, is always going to be regarded as the best. Space Jam supposedly has to see. I have heard that for so long, and I have yet to hear or see anything about it since it was announced. Because yes, it was announced, but I haven't heard or seen anything of it. Space Jam came from commercials featuring Michael Jackson and the Looney Tunes. I thought Space Jam came first, actually. Live action Beast Wars, please. Only if it's that last season of Beast Wars where they found Earth and were in the presence of the Ark. They operated out of the Ark. Only that. I'm a Unicron trilogy guy. I thought I said Unicorn trilogy. That's not how you spell Beast Wars. Was that 20? To be fair, that's 20 years later. I remember when Charles Barkley and Godzilla. Oh yeah, I remember there was something like that. I think those were just commercials or something. Watch Paddington 1 and 2. Shadow. I completely forgot that those movies even existed. The Paddington Bear movies, and I think were there Berenstain Bears movies? Berenstain Bears movie? Stain movie? Wasn't there a movie? I could have sworn there was a movie. No, there was not. I could have sworn there was Berenstain Bears movie. Beast Wars animation better than the it got better. It was not as good at first, but it got better. Paddington 2 is great and made me cry. Oh, Space Jam had lore. We don't need another Cat in the Hat. Oh, the images. Hold on. Oh no, I'm giving it all away. But yeah, to go ahead, the Sonic movie's being delayed. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, we went on our tangent here, like we do, and like I love to do. I love to do that stuff because I never know where the conversation is going to go. But we are going to right. Yeah. Okay. I feel that it's possible to make a good remake or reboot, but it's difficult to do so because of different audience expectations. Also, because a lot of crappier remakes and reboots still make a lot of money, gives Hollywood less of an incentive to take their time, put more effort into it. Yeah, exactly. Well, that was what we talked about with the ironic money being the same as regular money. But we're going to switch topics here.